What up, gamers? Spencer here, and welcome to my reaction to the Theorizer's Pixar Mega Theories. So, yeah, we are back to watching the Theorizer here again. And yeah, the last time I watched him was back when I watched his SpongeBob Theory videos, and that was a really great watch. You know, sometimes I do think about Gary becoming a god and all that. But yeah, those were like really fun times. But now here we are watching his Pixar Mega Theory playlist. He has number 1 and 2, and I was told by one of you guys to watch those first before watching his latest video, which I believe is like his finale to his whole Pixar Mega Theory here. But yeah, it is a lot of theory videos to go through here. So in this first playlist, there's 13 videos. I believe in the second playlist, the Pixar Mega Theory 2, there's like around 17 videos. So yeah, what I want to do here is just maybe watch a few at a time because, you know, it is a lot of videos. If I watch them all in one go, it would make this video like way too long for me to really, take in. So I just want to like go one step at a time. And I feel like the best amount right now would be to do around maybe 3 videos at a time. So yeah, for this video here, we'll begin with the Pixar theory, how Emma Jean connects to Toy Story Up and ellipses. And then the commenters might have found Emma Jean. And finally, Toy Story Theory, the Andy's Dad Tweet Dilemma Pixar. But yeah, I'll be watching these. Like I said, I was told to watch these in order from the first playlist to the second one, and then watch his latest finale video. So yeah, I'll be doing that. So before we begin, I just want to give a special thanks to that one commenter that recommended me to watch these videos because they have done so before. It's just, over time, I just wasn't able to really find too much space for a lot of these videos, these reaction videos. But yeah, because they released the finale, you know what? This might be a good time for me to watch these videos. So yeah, once again, thanks to that one commenter that recommended me to watch these videos throughout this entire time. But yeah, here we go, man. First up, we got the Pixar theory, how Emma Jean connects to Toy Story, Up, and Inside Out. Okay, that was the last one. I guess YouTube from before, they decided to cut that out. Okay, so Toy Story Up and Inside Out, all in the same universe. I don't even know who Emma Jean is here. So yeah, like I have watched a lot of these Pixar like movies, but I'm not gonna know or remember everything from them. So I guess I'll find out who this Emma Jean is. So here we go. Let's watch.
Pixar tends to make their movies with 4 demographics in mind: kids who will enjoy the movie for what it is,
Yeah.
adults who will approve of the underlying message, critics
Okay.
who will critique the
Ego.
flawless
Yes.
animation and technical aspects, and finally, a demographic most filmmakers don't go for: the observant people who notice the secrets of the little universe they've created.
Yes.
I mean, just look at John Negroni and his Pixar theory. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that was a
great, and
wild
it
time,
shows
man. That
well,
Pixar theory.
Pixar has these people in mind. Luckily, I'm one of the people who strives to unbury
I feel
the
like for me,
lore,
that's
and
been like
so,
the
after
first of like
scanning
the
the
theories
movie
that I've been seeing on the
inside out very
internet.
carefully, I found secrets
Like
that
even
line
before,
up
like
with
when I
things that
watched like
so many other people
channels
have
like the
been
game
saying,
theory and
and I
stuff.
think I'm close to finally piecing together some of the biggest Pixar mysteries.
Emmett Jean Fredrickson? Yeah, Fredrickson is the guy from Up, right? Mr. Fredrickson.
Hello, I'm the Theorizer, and I hope
Hello.
you like my new
It is
intro.
nice to see
I
you
never
again.
got a chance to talk about it in my last video, but I've stalled for long enough on this theory. Let's just get into it.
Here we
While
go.
scanning through Inside Out for clues and hints, I came across something that, to my knowledge, nobody has noticed yet.
Okay.
Ellie from Up is framed in Riley's childhood house. And to be
What?
more
Hold on, I need to see that. Okay. Trying to go frame by frame. I'm pressing the right button, right? Oh yeah, I am. It's just, it's on the still frame here. Okay. Is that the same one? It is. It's purple. They got the purple clothing here, same as here. And you can see the glasses. Over here, it kind of looks like she has green eyes. Here, it's more like, I guess, brown. But yeah, for the most part, it is the same picture. Wow. Okay. So let me hear that whole thing again.
Ellie from Up is framed in Riley's childhood house.
Yeah,
And to be
Riley.
more
That's the one from
precise,
Inside Out.
the exact same picture that Carl and
Wow.
Ellie had in their house.
That's
At this point
crazy.
in time, we know that Pixar is far from doing anything randomly, so we have to take
Yeah.
a moment to consider.
Like, I know
what
sometimes they do include, like, stuff from the other Pixar films in other Pixar films.
this actually means. When a framed image is seen recurring,
Like
it
they do some
usually means that
references
a
and
family has
stuff.
followed the tradition of sharing that same image. Yes, as crazy as this may sound, I think that the Anderson family is related to the Fredrickson family. And this is
Hmm.
just a theory, of course, not a fact, so not everything will line up perfectly.
It's just a
You
theory.
see, Ellie's family is sort of like a hub for Pixar secrets. There have been many, many theorists on the matter, most primarily including the Super Carlin Brothers YouTube channel. But I suppose
Okay.
that I too will
I
get
never heard
into
about
this
them.
long story. Emma Jean. Emma Jean is the name of a woman who is found as the sender of a postcard sent to Carl and Ellie Fredrickson. This
Okay.
card can, strangely enough, be found in Andy Davis's bedroom, and even stranger, up on his wall. In John Carlin's interview
Okay.
with the director of Up, Pete Docter revealed that Emma Jean was a previous love interest of Carl Fredrickson. He
What?
said that before Ellie, he had Emma, and that after he married Ellie, they were all still good friends. And what stumped everybody still to this day is that in Toy Story 3, you see that letter addressed from her to them on Andy's wall. Why? It's just so out of place and completely
Okay.
random. Not.
That's
Nothing is
interesting.
random
So
in
yeah, I've
Pixar.
never heard about this
Once
Emma
Pete
Jean
revealed who
before.
she was, people sort of stopped trying to figure things out, even though it was only half solved. And today, I'm gonna finish this long-awaited answer. How are these families related? And I'm so excited because it's time to make my favorite thing, a family tree. Fun
All right,
fact,
here we
I
go.
used
Let's see this family tree,
Ancestry.com to
man.
trace my family back several generations and managed to get 3,500 people on it. Oh, and for those Once Upon a Time fans, don't worry, when Season 6 finishes,
Yeah, I
I'll
never
be
watched
right
that
back
series.
on that tree. Ugh, that
It's a
thing's
series,
mess.
right?
Alright,
Where they have like fairy
distracted.
tale,
Let's start with the basics.
like just being, I guess,
Carl and
retold in
Ellie
a way.
Fredrickson are married. Carl had a previous love interest to Emma Jean. Andy Davis is the child of some man and Jennifer Davis. Yes, that is her official name by Pixar. And yes, I realize that there is a very popular theory that she is Emily, the girl from Jesse's past, but it too is just a theory. And her official name sort of goes against that theory. Anyways, other child, Molly Davis. Riley Anderson is the daughter of Jill and Bill Anderson. The Inside Out Essential
Okay,
Guidebook.
so here we go. We
reveals
got three
this.
families
The
here.
only strange things I noticed when scanning the movie
Now, how do you
is that
connect it?
Jill's credit card says K. N. Anderson, but I may touch upon that another day. Also, up on the wall,
What's that again?
there is an Anderson when scanning the movie, is that Jill's credit card says K. N. Anderson, but I may
Okay.
touch upon that another day. Also, up on the wall, there is a certificate for a man named William Anderson. Bill is short for William, ergo, their names are officially Jill and
Wait, really?
Bill Anderson. Bill is short for William, ergo, their names
Wow.
are
I didn't even know that. Bill is short for William. That's the first time I've heard about it.
officially Jill and Bill Anderson. So we have our three separate trees, and now we must find a way to connect Emma Jean to the Davises, and
Yeah, right
Ellie
now
to the
Emma Jean's kind of
Andersons.
like just there.
That is not an easy task at all. As I previously said, recurring pictures are ones that are usually given out to extended family members. So we do know that at the time of Inside Out, Ellie is old, right as Riley is young. Excellent. What are the possible combinations here? Well, Ellie can't exactly have children, so that's
Oh
out of
yeah,
the
right. I
question.
remember that.
But she can
Dude, that whole
adopt,
scene at the
and we
beginning of
see
Up,
just
man,
how important
saddest thing
children
ever.
are to her and Carl. But we never see or made aware
I
of
always
any
cry
kids
whenever
in the
I
whole movie, and we
always
just
tear up
need
because of
more
that
to prove that.
opening
So
scene.
let's quickly try the other trees. Is Jen Davis the child of Emma Jean and Carl Fredrickson? Well, that was a bomb I just dropped. Surely many have considered this though, right? Well, finally, we can prove it. And as a matter
Alright.
of fact, we can also place Jill under here too, because it doesn't quite look like she's gonna fit under adopted. Okay, if you're a little bit lost, that's okay.
I
I'll
am.
explain this part now. Right
So
now
wait,
we are trying to
I saw
prove
there
that
like, yeah, Fredrickson there. Yeah, Carl. So apparently Emma Jean and Carl made these two?
under here too, because it doesn't quite look like she's gonna fit under adopted. Okay,
Yeah,
if
I'm
you're
a
a
bit
little bit
lost
lost,
here.
that's okay. I'll explain this part now. Right now we are trying to prove that Jill and Jennifer are the children of Carl and Emma.
Okay.
Numero uno, the assumption must be made that Emma Jean and Carl Fredricksen actually had a child. The timing for this is fitting, but not fitting like the size of your clothing, more like the fitting of skinny jeans. It works, but it feels a little uncomfortable, unless you're this guy who seems a little too comfortable. But the only jeans we'll be dealing with today are of the Emma kind. You see, Carl is born in 1931, and he and Ellie get married when he's in his 20s or 30s. There is certainly still time
Okay.
to be with Emma Jean, and most definitely to have children, but it just feels
It's like a
little
hidden story
weird.
there.
If these women are in their 40s, it actually does work swimmingly though. And do you know what? They appear to be. So timing, although iffy,
I mean,
still
I can
checks out.
see it.
Numero
Like you said, what, they were like around 1931 for like the beginning of Up.
duo, genetics. Can't forget those.
And like when you
And
look at Toy Story and also Riley too, like Up. Like yeah, I feel like the timelines can match, just based on the setting and stuff.
so I will be frank with y'all. Oops, sorry, I intentionally said y'all again. The genetics here match up, but you guys hate it when I deal with genes. So the only genes we'll be dealing with today are of the Emma kind. Irregardless of my deoxyribonucleic puns of repetition, Carl's eye color is identical
Okay.
to Miss Davis's eye color, and it's blue, a rare trait. Their hair color is also the same. When not old, Carl had brown hair. Miss Davis's roots are brown. She
Okay.
just changes her style a lot. So Emma and Carl's children would indeed match the genes that we see, and the time that they take place also fits. And that always helps. But the real question is, why does Andy Davis have a postcard from his grandma and her new husband to his grandpa and his new wife up on his wall? Why is it that important to him? And still, where does Ellie's framed picture in Jill's house fit into all of this? And the question on everybody's mind, who is Andy's father? And as you'll see,
Yeah, so far there's no
we solved
picture
a
of
couple
him.
of questions, but now we have 3 more. This is gonna get real messy real fast. We know that Emma Jean's card implies that she is far away and is with somebody else. Andy has pinned it up like it's actually worth something. Why is it there? Who is Emma with now? Great, 4 questions now. But if I must, here is a brief summarization of what we've covered, or tried to cover so far.
Yeah, Imogene, I
After
didn't even
having
realize
Jennifer and Jill,
she
Emma
was
and
this
Carl
mysterious.
split. Carl then married his childhood BFF. Emma moved on, but as Pete said in John's interview, they remained good friends. And Emma went on to marry... we don't know. But what I find most important right here is that the time they get married and divorced and all that is right in the 50s, according to Pete. And what do we know that happened in the 50s? Woody and his Roundup gang were created. All of this loops back to who his father is, since it's very likely that Andy was given Woody by his missing father. This is just way too complicated, but I refuse to back out of this like I have other topics. I'm far too into this one now. It's driving me nutty. Pixar has broken me. And that couldn't be more perfect.
The
Oh,
Fantastic
Ed.
Four.
But yeah, there's like a lot to take in when it comes to the family tree there. So far, from like what I got, Emma Jean, pretty much was with Carl, and then made the two the girls in Toy Story and also in Up. But yeah, that's my knowledge so
And
far.
just to clarify, we know
Let's
that
continue.
the Andersons are related through Jill and not Bill, as they would have the last name Fredrickson if it were Bill. Jennifer Davis and Jill Anderson, maiden names Fredrickson, are the 2 children of Emma and Carl Fredrickson. Emma's maiden name is Jean. Divorcing his wife due to unspecified complications, Carl then marries Ellie. They all still remain friends, however. So we now have the not necessarily correct, but best fitting answer to the configuration of these 3 families. And yes, without getting too into it, this whole family follows the rare trait, and most of them have blue eyes, like Granddaddy Carl. Some people, yes, this includes the Carlin brothers, have questioned why Riley looks so drastically different from her parents. Well, genes can skip generations. This is also seen in Molly Davis.
I mean,
who
I'm not
has
the best
similar
in,
genes,
science or
blonde,
genetics,
blue
so
eyes, but her mother doesn't have
I wouldn't
any of
know that.
And Carl fits the bill
That's
with his
interesting.
blue eyes. The only questions we have now are, who is Andy's father? Who is Emma Jean's significant other? And why does Andy have a letter from his grandma and her new husband to his grandpa and his new wife?
Yeah,
Those
with like Andy and stuff. why the reason why he has that postcard. It feels like there's definitely like a story behind that. It just feels weird to like just have it there, you know? Feels like something kind of like personal to me.
Those are the trickiest ones to figure out, and I have no answer. But we can
No answer
brainstorm
right
for the
now.
time being. Losing his father to a clearly recent breakup is something that would take its toll on Andy. Naturally, that's the way with any divorce, especially an obviously nasty one like this. No sign of a father at all. It's almost like Jennifer has wiped the house of everything that was his. And she has. Which makes it nearly
Yeah, I
impossible
never
for this.
realized that. I mean, it's been such a long time since I've watched the first Toy Story movie. Yeah, I never realized you know, Andy, I guess the dad wasn't really around.
Decide who the father is.
I mean,
Sorry,
I was
Maury,
probably like
this
a
is
kid
even
when I
beyond
watched
your
it. I never thought
capabilities.
about it.
However, you'll see
That
that
could
I've
be a
said
thing
it's nearly impossible.
where
Nearly. Since Andy has kept
yeah, the
such an
reason he gave
obscure
for
and
him
random
not being
postcard in
around.
his room, I have reason to believe that it is somehow linked to his father and Emma Jean's new love
Hmm.
interest. This is just an idea to quickly ponder. Andy's grandparents gave him their postcard to give him hope of seeing his father again, to show him that it was possible for parents who break up to keep happy with each other, that a recovery is a possibility. That's all a boy would need in a
Okay.
situation as such. Yes,
Just a sign.
that is what I'm
Just
going
like
with.
hope.
And who is Mr. Davis? We all know that he'd keep the last name Davis with him, so all we need to do now is scan all of the Pixar films for someone, anyone, or
Oh, I don't know
anything
any Mr.
with
Davis
the last name
from the
Davis. Well,
Pixar
naturally,
films.
I found absolutely nothing. Maybe figuring
Really?
out who Andy's dad is simply isn't
That's
something.
kind of crazy. I mean, when was this video out? Like, I think it said around 8 years ago. But even with that pool of like Pixar films, like I feel like there's gonna be at least one, but I guess not.
Thing that's meant to be. But I'm not going to give up so easily. What I want you, the viewers, to do is scan through the films if you
Oh,
can and make sure to comment who you think
I'm
he
guessing
is. We are looking for
that's the next
someone
video.
preferably with blue eyes and brown hair who
Because
lives
the
in
next
the
video I know it's
tri-county
gonna be
area.
like I guess
If you
a
cannot
follow up to
find an
this one.
actual character, do an analysis and scan for anything throughout the movies that says Davis. We can solve this. It needs to be answered, or in the least, solved for this theory. It's possible that it can be Bill Anderson, but timing isn't evidence, it's
That'd be kind of
convenience.
wild
And
if
that
it
would
was
be,
Bill.
well, just conniving and deviant of him. The gals would probably kill Bill. And now, who is Emma Jean referring to when she says we? Who is she with now? This is equally as hard to solve as the strange case of Mr. Davis, but who is it we should be looking for this time? Well, we need to look for an old man with an old woman in a Pixar movie. That is literally all. If you can find that in any of these movies, we can use other strings of evidence to possibly connect everything together again. Now go out and look for Mr. Davis and Emma Jean's significant other. Last but certainly not least, as it was the basis of this entire video, why does Emma's daughter have her stepmom framed in her house? Because she is her stepmom, a major impact on her life, a motherly figure who likely lives closer to her than Emma does, based on the Pixar tree and the wishing you were here line. Finally, I reviewed Up's wedding scene, and to my surprise, I certainly did find a little something.
Oh,
Emma
really?
Jean. Maybe. If she truly is friends with these people, she is most likely to be at their wedding, and with a new man, right there, in the front row.
Oh,
It's
snap.
entirely possible.
That's them?
And what's this? A daughter, maybe? Who knows? I will return to this when I have enough information to successfully conclude some theories. Let's solve those mysteries. YouTube needs to be far more interactive than it is. Anyways, thank you all
Yeah, that's
so
pretty
much
cool.
for
I do
watching
like
this
how
video, and soon
he's like
we will
involving his
cover
audience
Polar
to also
Express,
help.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'm going to take one last shot at Ratatouille.
Oh,
Here are
Ratatouille.
some recent videos you
I watched that
can
movie way
watch.
too much, like
Here's my second channel, my
for the
Twitter
past
and
few
Facebook,
years.
and until next
That is a
time,
terrifying
I'm
avatar. The
Theorizer.
Theorizer 2. I like that. That channel icon. So yeah, that was the first part of the Emma Jean theory. Yeah, like I said, at the end there, really cool to see him like just try to also involve his audience because I did notice that too when I was watching his SpongeBob videos. I think I remember at some points he did try to point out what the audiences would also find out too. But yeah, now let's move on to his commenters might have found Emma Jean. So yeah, he said he might have found him in that wedding with those two people and the kid. But We might have like another, I guess, another answer to this. So here we go, man. Let's go see the
So after the
what is
many
we all
videos
about.
by such YouTubers as John and Ben Carlin, Seamus Gorman, and Watso Videos, a few months ago I decided to construct my own
I
theory
feel like I don't know
around the
any of those
concept of
YouTubers.
Pixar's Emma Jean mystery. I found a
Yeah,
framed
my bad.
image of Ellie from Up in Riley's house in Inside Out. Watch that video first by clicking the little white rectangular box that appears in the top right corner of the screen now. But to greatly summarize, the Pixar mystery woman was someone I tied to being a part of a massive family which tied together Toy Story, Up, and Inside Out. And although the concepts of that video are a bit unlikely, that doesn't mean it isn't a fun thing to return to. Because
It
if
is
you
a fun
haven't
thing. I mean,
already
just seeing that
noticed yet
picture
with
there
my
is
channel,
wild.
what I do isn't exactly theorizing, it's more of a story I create and then apply it with evidence. I think that's what the viewers enjoy the most.
Alright, here we go, man. Let's go see what his commenters might have found out about
So
Imogene.
since this video received many requests to make the follow-up I promised, I feel sort of obligated to do so. So let's start with one of the biggest questions I asked at the end of my video. Who is Andy's dad?
Have you guys found him?
I got some
Let's see.
insightful
Wait,
responses.
wait, what did I see that? Hold on. I just saw one of the answers. What the heck? Andy's dad is Mater from Cars. That's a bit too wild for me, man. The dad is Woody. Oh my gosh, dude. The dad is Wally. Mike Wazowski. All right. Oh, look, there's another Mike Wazowski. We got two Mike Wazowskis. The doctor in Finding Nemo. You know, that'll be kind of like a cool thing to like that, like yeah, that dentist, right? That was a dentist in Finding Nemo. I don't know, maybe. I mean, at least that one feels believable compared to like Mater and Woody. Anyways, let me continue, man. He's a caterpillar. Oh, okay.
Andy's
All right.
dad is a peanut.
A
The dad
peanut.
is Woody. That's why Andy is so attached. Let's
Oh,
just say Jennifer had some fun. Maybe Andy's mum is his dad. What happened is his dad went insane and killed his mum. Now he is wearing her flayed, decaying face to trick
all right.
Andy.
That was a bit confusing, bro.
This is so ridiculous. Andy's dad is obviously Marlin from Nemo. Have you seen my son?
Dude, that's like some B-movie level stuff there.
But there were some responses so strange that they actually got me thinking. So
Oh.
indulge me for a moment as I explain a ton of amazingly interconnected but sort of unlikely and bizarre theories by commenters, some of which got a ton of likes. Now, surprisingly, the concept of Al
This
from
guy?
Al's Toy Barn being the father is intriguing.
Oh my
Dozens
gosh.
of people suggested this in the comments section, and it dawned on me when making the video as well, as, well, Al seems to have direct ties to Woody in the same way in which I deduced that Andy's father would. The genetics mostly tied together, but common sense people like Chicken Man plus possibly homicidal Black Widow post-insipid misanthrope does not equal Toy Boy. Senselessness is rampant through these comments, but the idea is still quite cool. Now a new topic. Something I hadn't thought of when writing the script, but apparently dozens of viewers
Oh, is this a
pointed
cleanup
out
scene for
that
Woody?
an old man we see recurring in Pixar movies,
satisfying
aka Gary,
scene.
Jerry,
Oh yeah, Jerry's game.
Garai,
That was a fun, like, short
Jerry
to watch.
From Jerry's Game, the same man
I
who
just call him
fixes Woody
Jerry.
in Toy Story 2 is an old guy who
realize that
fits
was-
the bill for Emma Jean's second love interest.
Like,
However,
is that the same guy?
as some more clever people
I didn't even
pointed
realize
out,
that.
Emma Jean's letter doesn't actually imply a love interest at all, just that she may perhaps be with somebody. So who might that be?
Okay.
Well, hopefully this video will narrow things down for you guys to figure out that one in the comments section. I guess this video is more of just a narrowing things down more than a full-on part 2, more like a 1.5, just kind of an intermission type theory.
Okay.
But you see, dear viewers, this is an interesting comment right here. This person suggested, this is a good one, that perhaps Andy's dad left Jennifer because she cheated on him, having Molly. This is the single worst possible way for a breakup to happen. Cheating. All of the signs were there. The lack of anything of Andy's dad on the walls, Andy's obsessive tie to his toys, and finally, Molly's abnormal traits. that light blonde hair, nothing like
You
the
know, that
rest
was
of her
a
family.
really
But a
distinct.
father, who perhaps may have blonde hair,
Oh,
would produce a daughter with different genes. And if we assume that the breakup was this nasty, then do you know what that means? It means that Jennifer is extremely likely to change both of her children's last names to hers. Meaning that I've been going about this all wrong, and we should not be looking for a man with the last name Davis, but rather something entirely different. Perhaps there were two fathers in this family. This just all reinforces my Black Widow statement from earlier. So, who is the father? Or more accurately, who are the fathers?
yeah,
Bill
there's not like
Anderson?
multiple
This
people
just
now.
gets creepier and creepier.
Multiple
Now,
dads
this comment
being in
right
play.
here
I kind of
is
like
a
this
mind twister.
this one.
Could Emma Jean be the sister of Ellie? Well, we are never given her maiden name, and the woman in their wedding's audience, who could possibly be Emma, clearly shares genetic resemblances to Ellie, so I don't know. It's likely, but it kind of twists things up for poor Carl and the girls. Moving on to this person who claims that on Andy's shelf there were signs of some form of Boy Scouts. So could he have ties
Okay.
to Russell? We may never know, but
Oh,
perhaps
to Russell.
Russell's dad is never around because he's living an alternate life with the Davis family. Or perhaps
Oh.
the Anderson family. I mean, the genes match up.
Oh
But
boy.
no, I'd never base a theory around all of this. But the concepts are there.
It's like already a
and my
lot going on,
intention
man.
is to spread ideas for you commenters who may be able to contribute to the solution. And there are many other comments here, which I'll put up on the screen right now, but basically this video was just made as a direct follow-up to my last one, to spread more and more ideas, because we are really close to figuring out how all of these Easter eggs are connected. What intrigues me the most is who Russell's parents really
Now
are.
we're getting to Russell, dude.
But I will do that for another day.
All
I
right.
promise.
Yeah, there's another family
You know,
to
what
talk
I should
about
really
here.
be just doing is just starting another series on this channel called Commenter Theories, where I just review a ton of your theories.
Oh,
and
yeah, I will
explain my
like that.
thoughts on them. It is a very interesting
I think that's
idea,
just a fun way
and
to
would
interact
lead
with
to
your
some
audience.
Amazing complications, and I love it when things get complicated.
Jeez, dude, is that
And
the
so,
old like
I hope
layout
you
for the
guys get
YouTube
some more
comments?
inspiration from these comments,
The
because
squares?
things are getting interesting right now.
I feel
Until
so
next
old, man.
time, I'm the Theorizer, and
Just looking at
I
that.
will soon be making a ton of review videos.
You guys
for
remember
various
like just
movies,
having like
so
the
expect those
like the
very
bar,
frequently.
the like and
I
dislike
am also
bars,
starting up
and
a
then it
series
became
of
like the
mysterious
percentages,
videos on this channel,
or like the
which
stars.
explain a super
Jeez, dude.
hidden sort of story, which I'm going to get
watching
you
some of
guys
these
to
videos
try and
kinda make me
figure
feel
out
old
before the finale
already.
of it. So if
I
you
feel
see
kind
me
of
upload
ancient.
videos of some strange sort of crappy paper animation, then get theorizing.
All right. So yeah, I believe that is pretty much it for the whole like, I guess the theory behind Emma Jean. Like, I guess that'll be it for now. And I think there's one more that's like not related. I kind of forgot. I guess I'll go check it out right now. Actually, this one does sound kind of related here. So we got the Toy Story theory, the Andy's dad, tweet dilemma Pixar, tweet dilemma. I'm gonna guess like one of the writers or something like tweeted out about Andy's dad, and that caused like a firestorm on Twitter. Yeah, back when it was called Twitter back then. So yeah, I guess we'll find out. So yeah, didn't realize this was also related too. Um, but yeah, it is. Let's go watch.
Warning, before you watch this video, know that it is very different from my usual videos. It's mostly a psychological analysis of a real-life statement by a Pixar writer, and it's less like what I usually do, but I'm sure you've watched Pixar movies before, correct? Hopefully if you're clicking on this, then you've already seen my Pixar family tree video as well. If you haven't, then you need to
So
watch
wait, what was
this
that first
on
one?
Family tree movies before, and it's less like what I
Let me just see it
usually
again.
do, but I'm sure you've watched Pixar movies before, correct?
I
Hopefully,
have.
if you're clicking on this, then you've already seen my Pixar family tree video as
I
well.
have. Two of them.
If you haven't, then you need to watch this.
Okay.
Also, you can watch part 2 of it for more info, but
You did part
basically,
1.5.
we're
I've seen that
still
too.
Figuring out this family tree.
Alright,
I
good.
made.
I-
It ties
I'm all
together
caught up.
Inside Out, Up, and Toy Story, and uses obscurely
Just making sure, you
mind-blowing
know.
evidence threads
I wanna make sure I'm
from
all,
three
like,
movies. It left some
caught up with
unanswered
like what I need
questions,
to know
though,
about this
and the
video.
other video I made shared some of your ideas, but the big question regarding who Andy's dad is was seemingly answered by a man interviewed by the Super Carlin brothers. Watch their video, it's a stellar mind blow, but
You never
something
heard about
happened
the Super Carlin
afterwards. So
brothers,
today I'm going to psychologically pick things apart to their near atomic level, trying to figure out what's happening
but I
with
guess
all of
now is
this.
a good time for me to learn about them. Okay. Yeah, so far what I'm noticing is that, with the Theorizer, his videos, like back when I was watching his SpongeBob videos, like he always does maybe around 3 parts. Like even in the when I look at this playlist, there's like 3 parts of like a Ratatouille theory, and I think 3 parts for some other ones. But yeah, I am noticing that. So I guess, it is good for me to do like maybe around 3 videos. Yeah, 3 to 4 videos maybe per reaction video that I'm doing. Here we go.
Hello, I'm the
Hello.
Theorizer, and after the
Hello,
Super
Theorizer.
Carlin Brothers video went live, it went semi-viral as well.
Oh,
The man
really?
who they interviewed was told all of the underlying information about Andy's dad by his friend over a chat during lunch, I believe. His friend was one of the guys who worked on Toy Story, like one of the main guys who worked on it. This mind-blowing video quickly caught the eyes of Andrew Stanton, one of the other writers and creators. You see, the Pixar friend who relayed the
Okay.
information to Mike Mozart, the Super Carlin consultant, was in fact Joe Ranft, a Pixar writer who passed away some time ago. Andrew Stanton later posted a tweet that was attempting to refute this massively amazing take on the story, and it went something like this. Complete and utter fake news. Everyone go back to your homes, nothing to see here, folks. Hashtag I was there. But if
I
it was
was there.
debunked by him on his Twitter, then why would the man in the Super Carlin Brothers video talk about it and discuss this? Is he lying? No, there's no way. So how do we explain this? We can analyze this tweet in a possible of 3 different ways.
So
And
now we're gonna
yes,
analyze
I'm
Andrew
going to
Stanton,
do just that.
like
Either
Patrick,
he is
the way
telling
he
the
analyzed
truth and
Patrick.
he's a bit annoyed with the viral nature of fake news, or his statement's sheer briefness and abruptness could indicate his annoyance at something being revealed that was supposed to be kept secret until Toy
Yeah, I
Story
can see it,
4, or
both
perhaps
ways.
was simply a headcanon of Joe
The
Ranft
tweet did
or
sound like kind of annoyed, like he was kind of annoyed, but at the same time, if we're going on like the mindset where there's probably more than meets the eye with these like world building and lore of the Pixar films, then it definitely feels kind of sounds like uh we might be like catching on to something here,
scrapped idea and
like
would be
the
retconned in Toy
theorist.
Story 4. The third possibility is that he's lying and trying to use reverse psychology to make a joking statement, judging from the word choice, because he knew the tweet readers
Oh,
would spiral into analysis
actually, that's what I thought when it meant by lying. I kind of like also thought about reverse psychology where you know he's trying to make it obvious that, or like yeah, kind of make it to where he wants to sway the readers to think about there's something more about it. Okay, yeah, I thought about like 3 as 2 actually for
of
me.
it, as the same readers of his tweet are the ones who would do this kind of analysis in the first place. But if he was incredibly smart, however,
Double
it
reverse
could have been
psychology.
double reverse psychology, and his knowledge of
All
how
right.
people would analyze his statement was an actual intention in his
What about
ultimate
triple
decision
reverse
to write it
psychology?
in the way he did. Based off of his cleverness, I don't think he'd have any reason to go deeper than that, based sheerly in the context with his reasons. He is one of the men who makes those crazy Easter egg-filled stories at Pixar, and
Oh,
from
really?
that,
It was
I can
behind
say
those
he
Easter
wouldn't
eggs?
go any
Okay.
deeper than this. So in
It
order to
does.
solve
Okay.
my theory, we need to know which it is. Is it the cold hard truth, a cold hard
I mean,
lie?
knowing that he was working with the Easter egg stuff, I'm sure he wants the audience to maybe look more into those kind of things, and you know probably won't be like directly. It won't be like it won't be the cold hard truth. I do think it's at least the next 2 over here at least.
Reverse psychology or double reverse psychology? Which is it? Well, first, we have to more analytically look at his word choice. Did he angrily type this fast? Did he angrily type this slowly? Or did he meticulously type this with the specific choice of words?
I feel like if he was angry, there would probably be some like misspellings if I had to guess. But it seems like he typed it everything kind of nicely, like it was nicely if like formatted.
Using a tool known as Echofun, we can view where this
What?
tweet was sent from. According to its source code
Hmm.
analysis, this tweet was sent at 2:38 p.m. on June 24th, 2017 from his iPhone. So that narrows things down a little
Okay.
bit, as we know that he was on the move and was likely spammed with the video by Super Carlin Brothers fans. But the article he linked in his tweet, however, was by IO9, who posted their piece 2 hours before Andrew Stanton tweeted. Now, two things could be occurring here.
Okay.
Either he saw the article by something as big as IO9 as the last straw after the spam, or he simply was made aware of it by their article after he saw it on IO9. Problem is, he'd have been
You know what? The theorizer's right. This is a very different video because I thought maybe we would go into like some more evidence of Andy and like what his dad is. No, yeah, this is definitely just more of an analysis of just the tweet itself by Andrew Stanton here. It's very different, like at least like when it comes to what we're analyzing here.
spammed with the video, so it makes it far more likely that he took this as the last straw. However, that's still 2 days after getting messages, emails, and tweets directed at him. If he responded the day the Super Carlin Brothers posted it, June 22nd, then it would have indicated that he was obsessively after squashing the idea, likely because it was true. Except he didn't do that. So it's more
Hmm.
likely that he was made aware of it starting on the 23rd, 1 day later.
This is cool.
This
Like
is
you're
the day which,
trying to
if he
actually
responded on, I would have considered normal.
like try
But
to
his
figure out
tweet
his
would have been
his story
worded
of like how he
differently in
processed
a way
through
that more
through
calmly
this.
and maturely states how it was incorrect news. But the fact that it was posted a whole 2 days later, after IO9 posted it as well, indicates to me that his sarcasm is a composition of words very carefully chosen. Even if this makes little sense to some of you, the sheer fact that he tweeted a couple hours after the post from IO9 is interesting enough. Or maybe this is just too psychoanalyzed. Since his carefully chosen sarcasm is most likely the case, though, and he was on the move due to the factor of his iPhone being the posting platform, it
Hmm.
indicates to us that yes, it was more likely not a cold hard truth or lie, but if anything, a cold hard semi-truth, as he knew Joe Ramft and the team had this as a possible background story for Andy's dad.
In
Oh,
Albion,
got an
no
ad.
matter
All right, let's go and continue here.
Had this as a possible background story for Andy's dad. So, we've already eliminated the first two, but
Oh yeah, I can
replaced
see
it with
that.
a new one, the
Like a scrap
semi-truth. But
possible
let's
story
look at
for
the
him.
reverse psychologies now.
Like
Whether he
it
was
might have been
intending to
like maybe
use the
too
reverse
dark
psychology
for
on casual viewers
a
or the
Pixar
double
story,
reverse
maybe.
psychology on the analytical theorists is a matter of how far he's willing to go. Remember, there's around a 60% chance that he had more than enough time to plan this, and a 70% chance that he had at least some time to plan this, and there's still upwards of a 20% chance that he was using manipulation tactics. His tweet may have been apparently annoyed, but right off the bat, I can safely say that he was not intending to spill this message to the minority being theorists. If he was attempting to use manipulation, he'd be doing it to the majority being casual movie viewers who may have been convinced by Mike Mozart's sound statements. Since this is 95% the case over the first one, I can safely eliminate the double reverse psychology from the options. So
Yeah.
here we are.
I do
left
feel
with
like
reverse
there's definitely something
psychology
going on.
or the semi-lie. So did he intend to make the readers second guess his tweet? Here's where the only thing we can do is check over his wording to see if he's serious or not. If his word choice is seriously intended like this, then it's the semi-lie. If it's more jokingly abrupt, then it's reverse psychology. First,
I feel like it just sounds more jokingly abrupt to me. It's just just the way you say like, "Everyone go back to your homes. Nothing to see here, folks." Like, I don't know. To me, it kind of sounds like that to me.
sentence is complete and utter fake news. Quite an abrupt way to start it. I'll label this semi-lie for now, but perhaps return to it after the rest of the word analysis.
And you know what? I
Next,
guess I can agree with that. It could be a semi lie with that too. But this one, it feels like he's trying to make us look away from something shiny, and I feel like the next two sentences here are pretty much like that. That's just what I kind of see it like as. The first one I can see as a semi lie. The second one, like the next two sentences here, I can see it as reverse psychology.
sentence is slightly more sarcastic and joking, using a common statement to apply to something where people never left their homes. This is just a common overused joking statement, so it's branded
Yeah,
with reverse psychology.
that's what I thought.
Next sentence is nothing to see here, folks, which, when paired with the last two statements, kind of neutralizes everything. It's a mix of both, which is unfortunate for all of this so far. It just
I feel
keeps
like it is
things
more of
still
like
in the
reverse
middle, but
psychology in my
it's
opinion.
that last thing that was added, that hashtag I was there, that really ends up pushing things in one direction or the other. It's like an end touch of coldness, a very blunt statement, which
Yeah, I
does,
agree.
unfortunately, do
The I was there. It could be a that could work, maybe work more of the semi-lie thing.
two different things. The fact that he feels the need to append the statement with this little extra hashtag is indicative of sarcasm, but what
I
it
know. Yeah, you know what? I guess the hashtag does make it sound a bit more sarcastic. Hmm.
actually reads is indicative of the cold, harsh semi-lie. So which trumps the other? We also have to realize that within
This
the
is kind
two
of interesting
abilities,
to think about too. Like just trying to analyze those sentences there about either it being a semi-lie or a you know like sarcastic uh reverse psychology type of thing. I think this is really interesting just to think about in general. And then even like the hashtag, man, like man, yeah. The theorizer is going really deep into this.
he was the only one on the team to respond to this, further showing how it may have been a bit more coordinated in order to work around something. I mean, the other creators didn't also blurt out rebuttals at random times, it was just him. And since it was something a bit more organized than blunt anger, we now know that there's more of a 90% chance that this all points to the semi-lie. So,
Oh,
that's it.
really?
When creating Toy Story, Andrew Stanton and his co-creators likely brainstormed ideas around Andy's family and some backstories, but none really came to fruition or made it into the Pixar canon. At lunch, Joe Rampt told Mike Mozart one of the ideas, it was accepted as his headcanon, and he relayed it to the Carlin Bros in the form of a viral video, so nobody is lying here like some assume. Mike Mozart is not, and has absolutely no reason to lie. But this whole story about Andy's dad is quite clearly, by Stanton's statement, something that is not true, at least not in the canon, because it's a semi-truth. It was an idea. And so finally,
Yeah,
the
I can
point
see
of
that.
this
Just a
whole
scrap story.
psychoanalysis or whatever I'm doing here, does it count towards the canonicity of Toy Story? And the
I
answer
mean, do we count cut content as canon? And like, I'm just thinking about that when it comes to video games too. I mean, I feel like just in general, like probably not. I feel like if we're just thinking about video games, maybe you can make it work out. Like in terms of like modding a game. Like I'm just like thinking about like stuff like the Bethesda games like Skyrim and Fallout. But I think just in general, probably not, in my opinion. Wait, let's see what the theorizer says. Maybe he'll convince me if he does like go the other way.
is no.
Yeah.
While it is in fact partially correct, it does not apply to the film because despite the
And you know what? I also thought about it too. Like those I remember I was watching those like the cut content from the Cars movies where like, you know, there was this one scene where like Lightning McQueen, he got his like engine change from his car like body to another car. Wait, that was just like a scrap story. That was just an idea, and that wouldn't be canon, you know. So yeah, the way I'm thinking is kind of like that, because it would never made it to the final product. It's not canon.
flooding evidence, it was never blatantly explained, and it was, in fact, subtly disconfirmed by a cryptic Stanton on Twitter. So my point is here, let's stop with the Andy's dad question because quite clearly it was never intended to be a part of the story. But most certainly, we should keep focusing on those other two massive questions I left in part one.
We still never,
Who is Emma Jean with now? And
yeah, we still
why
never
does
answered
Andy
him.
have his grandparents' postcard pinned on his wall? These are things that writer and director Pete Docter publicly stated were of importance, so let's lean into these ones instead. and I've already started this off. I said in that first video that the couple in the front row of Carl and Ellie's wedding is most likely Emma Jean and her new love interest, so please look for an old couple in any Pixar film or short film with these shared genetic traits, especially those eye colors, and please think about that card on his wall. I'll probably do another video where I review your best comments and ideas. Until next time, I'm the Theorizer.
Alright. Well, yeah, obviously we know that, I guess, in the playlist right now, the next three are going to be, I think Ratatouille stuff. Wait, that was pretty cool, man. Yeah, I love the three videos here that I watched so far. So yeah, there you have it, guys. That was my reaction to the first three videos into the Pixar Mega 3 #1, which was the Emma Jean, then a follow-up to it with the commenters, and then the whole, like, Andy's dead tweet. Yeah, these were very interesting videos. You know, I never knew about this Emma Jean. Like, I really tried my best before I recorded this video to think about, like, who Emma Jean was, but, like, I know I don't remember anything about Emma Jean. But yeah, it was just pretty much like, you know, stuff on the wall, you know, like notes being written and stuff. But really cool that they you know, did connect some of these stories together. Like, I know they already do that with some other things. But yeah, I never realized that we saw like the picture of the of like Ellie and, like, I think Riley's house, right, or something like that. But yeah, I think it's really cool, really interesting to see this, you know, this theory here. And yeah, I think I chose right to maybe react around 3 to 4 videos, because like it seems like that's like the perfect amount. They all kind of like match up here. Because next up, we got the Gusteau theory, which then we got more of Ratatouille, and then we got a third theory. I assume this is the second theory, even though he did not number it. And then after that, we got the Finding Nemo stuff as well. This one looks terrifying. The Ginger conspiracy, is it related to the girl from Finding Nemo? Oh my gosh, what? Oh, does he do it here? The entire family tree? Oh snap, dude. Yeah, just like I just like to preview what's coming up here. This is Emma Jean? Alright. I think the finale for this first, yeah, for the finale for this first playlist, I guess we'll end up, you know, going back to the, we'll be looping back to the first theory here. That's pretty cool. I like the way he laid that out. But yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and, oh my, no, wait, I just saw the thumbnail here. What, Remy and the girl made Carl? All right. Yeah, that's gonna, I'm definitely gonna have to see when that happens. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'll just go ahead and end here. My mind is always getting blown like every second that I scroll by this playlist here. Anyways, yeah, I enjoyed it so far. And once again, thanks to that one commenter that you know, recommended me to watch this, because, you know, they've been doing it for, you know, a while, like from before and now. And yeah, now I want to watch it, just because, you know, I definitely just appreciate the interest for people to, you know, wanting me to react to videos. Because yeah, like my reaction videos, they're definitely, like, you know, popping off on this channel like way more than my gaming videos. And, you know, pretty much my gaming videos takes up like 99% of my channel here. But yeah, it's always nice to see, like, you know, people be interested in my reaction videos. Because like for me, I'm not sure if they're like good videos to watch at all or not, but I'm glad that people are interested to see me react to things. But yeah, yeah, definitely thanks to those who watch my videos and stuff. And yeah, by the way, go ahead and check out the Theorizer. I have watched it before, like I said, with the SpongeBob videos. But yeah, these are really great videos to begin with. I can't wait to watch the Ratatouille stuff because, you know, I feel like in a way I might have a good insight into Ratatouille just because I keep on playing that movie over and over again whenever I have dinner sometimes, because, you know, it's a food movie, and I'm like, you know what, maybe whenever I order like Italian food, I'm gonna put like Ratatouille in the background. I just feel like it's kind of fitting in a way. Anyways, I'm like rambling right now. I'm gonna stop here. So that'll be for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good